How do you maintain economic growth and economic development in our community but maintain a cultural identity that you don't sacrifice that as a result?
Yeah.
And how did this mob do it here well?
Yeah.
Because they seem to do it better.
The practice that we operate within our family is still the same. We care for our extended family, we know who they are, we support them as part of their struggles often, and that you get the whole mob in. And so the stuff is about whether you're on pension or benefit, or whether you earn a decent wage, the practical application of doing things culturally hasn't changed since, whether we're on mission or in the 1800s to now. The only thing's changed is technology and geography.
That facilitation of support from non-Indigenous people just hasn't happened historically, and there's few and far between.
Yeah.
To have that is a powerful tool to assist the changes that are required to have a healthier society. Not just a healthier Indigenous people, but a healthier society.
Once I got here, I don't know, I just felt home straight away, kind of thing. And it just became very routine, going to the conference and stuff like that.
I know every time I leave a conference there's always one or two themes that I leave there from, and they really start to challenge the way I think about things, or it just sticks with me for some reason.
I've been fun and very orderly.
I really like the concept of focusing on, we all know the statistics, we all know, the bad health situations, so let's find the positives and promote them, and maybe that will flip, some of the negatives, so I really like that.
Trevor and your delegation would like to welcome you to the Native Education College, and it's really good to see representatives from south of the equator, which we feel quite at home.
Our rivers and our waters greet your waters. Our mountains and our ranges greet your mountains and ranges. Our life experiences also greet yours, because it's the same story no matter where you go with First Nations people. Stories of colonisation, stories of hurt and anger and denial of rights. We have those stories too.
Way yo ho, way yo ho, way yo ho, way yo ho, way yo, way yo ho, way yo ho, way yo ho, way yo ho, way.
It's been a big week, and I think we're all feeling a lot more refreshed to start with.
The fundamental element of our health is around identity and cultural, our cultural needs and framework.
The health and well-being of Indigenous people across the world is so profoundly appalling that that's been a really common theme that's come out of the conference.
If Victoria, so broad-based, if Victoria was to be truly courageous to transform the health and well-being of Indigenous Victorians, what do you think mainstream need to do?
I'd start to work with a human rights framework, around health promotion and primary health prevention, so that it's actually a right for Indigenous people to have priority of access, priority of service. I'd look at that in terms of how we allocate our funding.
I think the way to do it in the local government environment is chipping away. Education's right up there, just really pushing, that Indigenous issues as part of induction for all staff, that there's ongoing training, that it's incremental, that we're not just repeating the same cultural awareness stuff, but we're actually building on that learning.
And within Vic Health too, I think even in simple ways they seem, but even now finding opportunities for youth when we get back to tell the story here.
There's a lot of non-Indigenous people out there that want to do something but have no idea of how to do it. And when we present best practice models about this is what works successfully with community.
when you do get bits of funding, it's for 6 months or it's for 3 months' work, or if you're lucky, for 12 months. And so how exciting if we could plan for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years.
What came through from that in a very real way, being able to sort of see it, and through other speakers today and even yesterday for me, is the strong emphasis on the need for cultural identity, being able for people to look back and claim identity, but also to be able to look forward.
It would be really good to have somebody do research on our well-being, about the positive stuff, instead of highlighting, you know, that we're still having the symptoms and the illnesses or the oppression of 100 years ago.
The focus should be on the process and what do the people involved get out of it, and the building of relationships and stuff, rather than just a report that ends up sitting on a shelf somewhere.
It's time for us to start looking at building on what we've got rather than always looking at the gap.